Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well tonight. I am here to call to the table to pull some cards and see what we've got going on. Okay, this is probably going to be a little deeper of a read for those of you who like that type of thing. To me, like the quick, faster reads, this one's not going to be that. I did one of those earlier. Check it out if that's more what you're pulled to. This is going to be a little bit of a deeper read. Whether it's going to be about your person, about yourself, I don't know yet. That's whatever spirit will provide. Ooh, all right. All right. What spirit wants to come forward with, okay? Just going to grab a couple of each and then I will begin to read. And whatever is meant to come out will come out. Let's see if there's anything else that needs. No, I'm going to take all of them. Okay, we'll take those. Okay. I want to get some situational cards to see what else we've got going on. What do we need to know tonight? What do we need to know tonight? Okay. What is it that we need to know? I saw a pop-up in there just for fun. Didn't come out. Okay, but I did see it in there. All right, that's enough of that. Let's give these a good shuffle. I used these earlier, so I'll make sure that they're well shuffled. And one more good. Go. All right. What do we need to know tonight, Spirit? What do we need to know tonight? I'm not sure I'm supposed to be using this deck tonight. Okay, well, fine then. I was actually being called to this one, but I thought, it doesn't necessarily fall in line with the rest that I was thinking about pulling, but I'm going to pull what I'm called to. Oh, goodness. This deck is really... Okay. Oh, whoa. No, way too many. Take that one and those two. None of these. Alright, I'm going to take whatever we've got here. That is a Libra card. Something needs to balance out. That much I can feel. And we are going to pull some of these. These are probably one of my... I have some really cool decks. My Divine Truth, Spiritual Infusion. I have 5D Love Oracles, and I have both volumes of the tarot. One is tarot plus, it's Major Arcana plus other cards, and the other one is full tarot. And those are fantastic. They're amazing cards, and I also love this Energy Oracle deck. For those of you wondering, it is really good, really, really good, insightful. So, Spirit, what do we need to know tonight? What do we need to know tonight. Okay. Kind of flew off. All right, that's enough of those. All right, let's see what we got. We have a caring connection in reverse, all tied up in reverse. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel in the upright. And we have the garden and the gate in reverse. Someone is hoping, wishing, praying, and they're also cleansing. They're clearing their space, removing negativity, and meditating. But they're a pressure cooker. They're ready to explode. There's rage. Meeting, discussing, planning. A roller coaster. This, whatever this is, was feel much like a roller coaster. What I'm getting off these two cards, before I read them, this person, okay, now take it if it applies, and it could apply to you or your person. Someone realizes that the situation that they're in is not a caring connection. It's not for them. It's not the one. Okay. In this we have Libra and Gemini. Okay, those could be seasons. Gemini's season is not far. It's right after this one. This is 84 and 88. You could have been seeing 888. You could be seeing 12, which breaks down to a 3. This is talking about self-love, and this is an 81. Someone is going through a dark night of the soul as well with this card. Okay. And they are learning self-love, though. Within this dark night of the soul, they're realizing that the connection that they're in, this could be, again, you in your situation or your person's situation. In this dark night of the soul, you're getting yourselves out of a connection that isn't meant for you, or they are getting themselves out of a situation that is not meant for them. They are realizing they have to love themselves. Okay? This is a picture of a girl with a teddy bear. This teddy bear is kind of beat up. This is like inner child work. This person is doing a lot of inner child work. There's all this garbage here with the Dark Night of the Soul card. Like just junk. And this person's just sitting in absolute, like, just depression. Kind of sitting there with their hands on their knees like this and just, fighting their demons and re-examining their actions. Life-altering and extremely painful. At times they fight against the challenges, or the changes rather, but they know it has to happen in order for them to evolve. Let's see what we got here. We've got obsession. Person is absolutely obsessed with you. It's time to get out of your head and back into your own heart and get to the self-love. There's a judgment. They need to make a judgment call. Boundaries and fear. Kind of explains it. All right, guys. Let's go into this. There's 14, that's a 5. 5 is change. There's 37. Could be 37 with fear. It also breaks down to a 1. Obsession breaks down to a 5. I think I already said that. 1, 4, or 4, 1. 3, 7, or 7, 3 could be important. There's a a 4 here, or 3-1, or 1-3, or 2-8, or 8-2, or 28. You could be born on any days of the month, and it doesn't have to be. They just could be significant for someone. Yeah, we'll leave the glass this time. All right, guys, let's see what this is talking about. I mean, with the dark night of the soul, I want to say this is twin. This feels very much like twin flame. So I see flames here, more fire, nod to the fire signs also. But with the dark night of the soul, leaving carrying connections, wishes, roller coasters, this all feels an obsession, fear, judgment, boundaries. All this feels very much like twin flame to me. So I'm going to get a card or two from Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine Reunited deck. Also, and then we're going to really, really sink down into this, read about it. Now, while your person does not need to be a Gemini or a Libra, they could possess some of the traits from a Gemini and Libra. Or again, the seasons could be Gemini season's coming up right after Taurus season. At the end of this month begins Gemini season. So again, later this month could be significant. Osiris, also an Egyptian connection, god of transformation. That's amazing, guys. With the dark night of the soul, this very much talks about transformation, because in the dark night of the soul, you know, you have an enhanced awareness of your identity in an extremely difficult and painful period, personal and deep development of oneself with self-love. I mean, you know, let me read to you. And again, these traits, if your person is going through the dark night of the soul, I'll read the positive traits to you, but I'm more leaning toward the negative traits, right? So for Libra, indecisive, self-pity, vain, unreliable, superficial, ambivalent, lazy, and fearful. Okay, and we had fearful. We've got fear over here. In their positive, they could be romantic, charming, diplomatic, fair, idealistic, social, clever, and smart. But I'm leaning more towards the, you know, indecisive and self-pity and vain and unreliable, just superficial. They may have had a lot of superficial relationships in the past as well, because they didn't want to go deep. They feared going deep because they did not love themselves enough to allow someone else to love them. For Gemini, indecisive, impulsive, unreliable, nosy, bored easily, unstable, and fickle. That could very well describe your person. I wasn't always there when you needed me the most. Instead of trying to comfort you, I would jump ship because I couldn't deal with my own emotions, let alone yours. And I know I acted as if I couldn't make up my mind about our relationship, but it was really because I was scared of hurting you and you hurting me. Again, with the fear, throwing up boundaries that were unnecessary, right? Because you weren't there to hurt this person. Okay, you were there to love this person. But again, someone can only allow you to love them as far as they've met themselves. If they haven't yet met themselves, then, you know, it's awful difficult for them to allow you in because they don't love them. Osiris speaks. These are third person. First person rather. The times that we feel the greatest pain are brought to us as pivotal moments that can catapult us into the realm of existence even higher than we ever thought possible. First, it's important to go through the death cycle. Although your current schema of spirituality and your frame or time frame on earth is a beautiful one, it has unfortunately created a rather large stigma around feeling deeply. What I ask of you is to help change this. In the act of rejuvenation, it is vital that all of the old be killed off first. In the moments where you feel total and utter despair, you're in fact doing a monumental burn-off of parts within you that need to die. Old traumas, hurts, past lives, templates, and beliefs. Allow yourself to have a complete and utter feeling of your emotion. And that's what this person has been numbing and avoiding and just acting out and anything that they could do to avoid feeling those deep emotions. Wrap yourself up in a blanket and retreat. And your person is probably retreated so that they can go through this. The only way through the emotion is through it. Once you have felt it all, that's the time for new to come in, but only when room has been made. You also, they got to make room for you. The old has to go. And the old could be an old uncaring connection that this person was all tied up in, emotions, all that, all the nonsense and junk that does not belong, that needs cleansing. That needs cleansing. It's got to go. It's got to go. Then the transformational power is ready to come sweeping in. Just as you can see Osiris depicted here, taking my first breath after my period of death, anything is possible once you are reborn. Once you let the old die, anything is possible. All of the self-limiting beliefs are broken. Look at this picture. And it's almost like the Eight of Swords, but like the coming out of the Eight of Swords. Do you see he's all wrapped up in like mummification? I don't know exactly what this gauze stuff is called, but yeah, like mummification, right? He's broken free of it. And when you look at the Eight of Swords card in the tarot, I wonder if I can find that. The traditional tarot will show, I don't think I have a traditional deck out right this minute. I don't. But the traditional tarot shows a woman standing, there like this, and she's bound in what looks like these, or like toilet paper. And I'm sure these are a little stronger than that, but in that, it's always reminded me of someone just wrapping themselves up in toilet paper and being like, nope, can't do it. Nope, I'm bound. See, check me out. I'm bound. But they're not really bound. It's something they could break free of. They could break free of it if they would allow themselves to just do the work to get out. But sometimes it's just more comfortable to stay wrapped up in your toilet paper, I guess. It's not. It's not. Although the familiar is familiar, it's uncomfortable. The unknown is scary, but it's a lot more comfortable. A lot more comfortable. But it does take some getting used to. So there's that one. Let's go into obsession. It's time to get out of your head and back into your heart. This person has also been like back and forth. It was just like the reading that I did earlier today. This person is very much, one day they could be really excited and ready to go, and the next minute it's like, oh no, what if I can't do it? I just don't think. And that's where the fear comes in. It's like, I don't know. I'm not sure I can. I don't think I'm enough. All those self-limiting beliefs come back, and all the tapes from childhood keep coming in and just reinforcing themselves over and over and over again, because this person needs to learn to take a deep breath, to count the breath in, count the hold time, and count the out breath, right? So they can stop those obsessive, fearful thoughts. So they can change focus of their thought process and really just redirect, clear that space, remove that negativity, and become more positive and optimistic about things. Like, yes, I can do this. You know what I mean? And yes, I am worthy. And just to turn off the old tapes that were ingrained in us as children. Okay. This card shows up today to tell you that a situation, problem, or concern is rapidly consuming you. Your every thought, feeling, and emotion. You're overthinking your circumstances, and there could be some paranoia involved. Rather than continuing to play out the worst case scenarios over and over again, like I just said, take a step back, calling in your angels and guides to assist you. No amount of worrying or obsessing is going to make the situation better. In fact, it'll only make it worse. Find a way to think about something else. Like I said, meditation or counting your breath work. It only takes a few minutes to stop your thought processes in their tracks. Because when I have a attention deficit disorder, clearly, I mean, I get off on tangents easily, as you can tell, but I never thought that I would be able to meditate effectively ever. It was only with the breathing exercises I was ever able to calm my mind enough to quiet it. Okay, that and actually my singing bowls. Those also help me to ground myself and to ground myself, excuse me, and think about what I'm doing, because you actively have to go around the edge of them and pay attention to what you're doing in order to make them sing. If you're just randomly doing this number and you're not really focused, you're not thinking, you're not going to make them sing. They're not going to make the noise intended if you're not diligent about it and paying close attention to it. So no amount of worrying or obsessing is going to make it any better. It says do something that will help distract you. Read a book, an inspirational book, take a nap, go for a walk. Napping can be, reactionary for those that deal with depression. Like, they could just go to bed and just sleep it out. That's not necessarily, while it could be helpful in the moment, redirecting your energies and your thoughts. And sometimes we need to rest. There's no question about that. If that's the case, rest. But if you're just escaping and using sleep as a form of escapism, like you would drugs, alcohol, any distraction, the gym could be even that, a form of escape. Work for a lot of people can be a form of escapism, because if you can keep busy, you can keep your mind busy and you're not thinking about the obsession. That's obsessing over something else. You're just redirecting your obsession. So that's not helpful either. Throat chakra. Align your chakras. This obsession is creating a very stressful situation for you, and if you can find a way to let it go, you'll be able to see the solution to this problem or concern. The situation is not as hopeless as you think it is. It's time to get out of your head and back into your heart. Trust that all will be well, and it will be well. In what ways are you overthinking your current situation? Are the circumstances as critical as they seem? Are extreme emotions getting in the way? What do you need to do to take your mind off of this so you can find some clarity? I don't know that I've ever pulled that obsession card before. That was cool. I love this deck. It's a good deck. Judgment is one before. Let's go ahead and see what they're talking about with the Judgment card. We have 13 and 14. Forward progression. You are being asked to let go of all judgments and forgive those who judge you. You need not worry about others' judgments. Also, you need not worry about others' opinions. Don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. People are going to think what people think. And that includes parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think. Oh well. They'll be okay. They truly and genuinely, they'll be fine. Do not limit your life based on the way others people feel you should live. Because guess what? You only get one that you're aware of at a time. In any case, I believe in multiple lives. But what I am saying is, you have this one to learn the lessons in this one, focusing on the right now. If you're so busy worried about what other people are going to think about you, you're wasting a lot of good time in your life that could be, going down a path that you're called to go down. because you're worried about what other people will say, think, or do. Leave them. It doesn't matter. It really makes no difference. Do not hold on to these, or do not hold on to or allow these judgments to define you. It says, if you are currently experiencing judgment or criticism directed at you, when someone is pointing a finger, it is because on a subconscious level, they are judging themselves. For whatever reason, something you said or did triggered their insecurities. This isn't your fault. It's in your best interest to ignore the criticisms, forgive them, and move on. Do not get stuck in the endless cycles of trying to please someone who refuses to look within his or her own self. A lot of our parents, they don't want to do the healing work. They will not ever, ever, ever in this lifetime do the healing work. They're not that evolved. They won't do it. You are. They won't. They won't do that. I'm resigned to the fact that my parents probably won't, do the healing work. And that's their life to live. But I choose to do that. And I choose to live the way I want to live and not conditioned by those around me. I don't care. I wish somebody would say something like, you might get cussed out. Really. I'm not defined by what other people want me to be. I lived that way for a very long time, trying to gain the approval of others. And for what? Nothing. Now I approve of me. And that's what your person needs to do, is approve of themselves, period. And whatever their truth is, whether, whether it's, you guys could be same-sex couple and they're hiding it. Whatever. They could be gay, straight, LGBTQ, whatever. Whatever the case is, they need to live in their authenticity, period, and dot. And not worry about focusing on others. At the same time you're being asked to release your judgment of others and look within whatever these judgments arise, all judgments are ultimately self-judgments. If you find yourself being judgmental or overly critical of someone, ask yourself, what is happening inside of me that is triggering these insecurities? If you're willing to listen to the truth behind your judgments, it will be easier for you to process your insecurities, forgive yourself for them, and find the love of self that naturally translates into compassion towards others too, with the self-love card. As soon as you see your judgments and criticisms for what they really are, past wounds that were ignored or never healed properly, it will feel as though a huge weight has been lifted from your shoulders as well as your heart. You're being asked to let go of all judgments towards others and forgive those that judge you. Do you feel judged and criticized by others around you? How are you letting their judgments and criticisms affect you? How are your judgments of others related to your own self-judgments? And can you take a step back to examine the ways in which you may be ignoring your own wants, needs, and past pains to live and please other people? Okay? Fear. 37. Your fears are keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve. Your fears of other people's judgments are keeping you, or your person, however it applies, however it resonates. Someone, though, is keeping their fear of those judgments and criticisms of others to allow them to lead the life that they will make them happy, where they will find their happiness. Fear may be keeping you from moving forward in your life, but it isn't fear that is causing this. It's an imbalance of fear. Not all fear is a bad thing. In actuality, fear is the way we learn to navigate the world at a very young age, to stay safe through adulthood. It is the reason why we look both ways before crossing the street or think twice before touching a hot stove. When we allow fear to take over, however, it keeps us from growing and learning new things. That's when fear becomes a problem. This card comes to you today as a gentle alert. Fear is keeping you from moving forward, and it's time to face it. There are many different types of fear that can stop us in our tracks. It can be a fear of success, a fear of failure, a fear of the unknown. Whatever your fear is, you're being asked to challenge it head on. Recognize that this fear is causing you more pain than protection. It is not keeping you safe. When we keep ourselves from evolving out of fear, it causes us a great deal of emotional pain and suffering. So do whatever it takes to move past this, as great things are in store. Amazing things are just on the other side of fear. Just on the other side of fear. Call on your guides and angels and ask them to assist you with this. It's never too late to live a life to the fullest. What are you afraid of? Is this fear from the past, the present, or the future? What are you leaning on? Old, listen, a lot of times this fear, in this context, we're talking about a relationship, right? They may have been fearful of a relationship with you because of the way they saw relationship handled as a child, right? No stability, ins and outs, person not there, not there, not there, there, can't be counted on for crap. They don't see stability. They see that their mother is unhappy, because a man comes in and out, in and out, in and out, or the other way around, whatever. Apply it as it resonates, as I said. And they could just see that as, people always leave. It creates this fear of, our inner child is scared to death to allow someone to love us to the point where they could hurt us. And tentatively, when you give your heart away to someone and say, I love you, here, I give it all, whatever, you open yourself up to the possibility of being hurt. When you truly and genuinely love someone fully, you open yourself up to the possibility of being hurt, allowing that person to hurt you. It is so worth the risk. It is so worth the risk. But you'll never know unless you get past the fear. For your person. Whatever. And if you're in contact with your person, you might want to send this to them. It's never too late to live a life to the fullest, okay? Are your fears true? Are you in actual danger? In what ways are they not true? Is it possible these fears are skewed or out of balance? Are there real red flags? Have you actually seen them? I mean, what do you need to be fearful of? What do you need to let go of, which isn't true fear? That's just you leaning on ideas of the past. It could be past relationships. You are learning the gentle art of setting boundaries and saying no. This could be you. It also could be your person. If they're worried about people's beliefs, they could be people pleasing and doing things that make other people happy. But your person could be learning the art of setting boundaries to say, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm going to date this person no matter what. It doesn't matter. This is going to be my person, and you're going to treat them with respect, whatever. And I will make certain they treat you with respect, whatever. Standing up and getting a spine, getting a backbone, and saying, nope. It's not only okay to say no at times, but it's imperative when it comes to living a life in alignment with your authentic self. If you're a person who almost always says yes, doing things that are not in your best interest and spreading yourself too thin, it's definitely time to take back your personal power. When you're able to set firm boundaries for yourself and the people in your life, you're saying yes to yourself. You are giving yourself more time and freedom to focus on what your soul needs. If it is in your best interest to take time to focus on your business, on school, on your family, or on any other thing that's important to you, you won't have the energy or time to do it if you're trying to be all things to all people. Remember that it is an illusion to think that other people can make you feel a certain way. Other people can't make you feel anything. Only you're in charge of your feelings. You're in charge of your life, and you get to choose what's in your best interest. Make peace with the fact that this is what you need right now. The people who truly love and support you will understand when you have to focus on your own needs, and the ones who don't might not be relationships that serve your highest good. What areas of your life are your boundaries currently being challenged? In what ways? How can you strengthen your boundaries in these areas? Love this deck. It told the whole truth. Let's go into these. And we're going to wrap it up, guys. All tied up with 23. Actually, let's go with the caring connection in reverse. Because it's number 14. And I happen to be closer to that page. This card reverse signals a break in communication or the parting ways of two people. Now, if you know that your person is in a third party type of a situation, and this actually, like I said, I mean, with all this caring about what other people think, it could be a parent, right? And maybe it's not that they are letting this relationship go, but they are limiting access to themselves by this, I mean, to this parent or person that's causing them drama, whatever, you know. Or it could be, if you know that your person is in a third party relationship, they're letting it go. Whether romantic, social, or business, the present connection seems to be or close to an end. If this is the case, consider what healthy action needs to be taken to move on. As difficult as this parting may be, it often leads to bigger and better things. Keep in mind both the logistical and emotional aspects of leaving this connection behind. Make plans, vent your feelings. Always remember, with every ending, a new beginning is at hand with you. Affirmation is they are opening their heart and life to truly caring connections. The ideal friend and partner is coming to them now. You. All tied up. This card reversed is telling you that the ties that bind are about to break loose. This person is getting out of a stuck situation. A previously stuck situation is opening up and the restrictions are clearing out. They're getting rid of this, whatever this is. This card reversed also indicates that you're ready to break free from the habits and patterns that have kept you tied up for so long. Get ready to free yourself. You have all the power and clarity at this point, so untie the binds of the patterns, wherever that card was. Oh, yeah, the God of Transformation, the ties that bind. Get ready to free yourself. You have all the power and clarity at this point, so untie the binds of patterns that have stopped you from being authentic and empowered. Now it is time to liberate yourself. They're releasing stuck energy, old habits, and restrictions. Their life is opening up and they're free to choose their own reality. Beautiful. These are all good things. These are great things, actually. This is 30, which could boil down to a 3. I'm not sure if I said that. If this card is reversed, it indicates the happy choice to open the door to a more spiritual pursuit. You may have been obsessed with worldly issues before. Like your person, I feel like, it actually may have been earlier. It was the earlier reading, and the energy feels very much, like a deeper look at what your person is going through. But earlier, it was awesome. It was a really good, this feels like, that felt like the energy they're getting in to come towards you. This feels like the deep stuff that they have to work on. So this is a deeper look at what they're actually working on, which is cool. It's very cool. The one earlier was very good too. It was actually excellent because the energy was like excited, childlike, and ready to roll energy. It was good. It's the same energy. It's just more of an energetic, telling what they're actually having to go through here. All right, so it says you may have been obsessed with worldly issues before. It was financial. I said all that to say that there was a financial component to it earlier today. But your readiness to go deeper is now here. Okay, many people believe they cannot live in a material world, make lots of money, and engage in spiritual priorities at the same time. But you now realize that isn't true. In fact, you can bring this wonderful spiritual focus to any endeavor, and when you do, you'll find that beyond your garden, the universe is willing to fill your life with beauty and joy. And that's weird because the garden, oh, that is the garden in the gate, duh. You'll find that beyond your garden, the universe is willing to fill your life with beauty and joy. Expect the unexpected, for joyous synchronicity abounds. I am blessed with an abundantly spiritual life. Every day, in every way, my joyous prosperity grows and grows. This is the choice. This is the choice. And it could be, you know, I mean, the person could very well be realizing that the financial, it's insignificant because it'll come. The spirituality is more important. This has butterflies in it, which again signifies change. There's two of them. And it also could be the choice that your person will have to make, I mean, is having to make coming out of this not so caring connection if you know they're in a third party. And again, this choice could be between old limiting beliefs and you being with you. So there are different situations. Take it as it applies. This is a collective reading. If you want a personal, though, I am offering those. If you DM me, I will provide details. All right, so we have the second chakra, intimacy and creativity. Sacral chakra came out earlier. It came out earlier. This actually falls perfectly in line with what came out earlier. Watch the earlier video, the one I posted. Actually, it will once I post this one, it will have been posted yesterday. So yeah. So the next video over. Okay, so the second chakra vibrates in the energy of beautiful angel Ariel. She sends out a bright orange energy. This is also sexual energy. This person finds you very attractive with this pressure cooker and ready to explode. That kind of, you know, that explains this. It doesn't necessarily have to be rage, but they could be like at the point, this is adrenaline rush, highest of high. They're anxious. They're ready to, they're rolling. Reading earlier. You are their hope, their wish, their praying, their yearning, and they are hoping that you are not moving on. Let's see here. When this card appears in the upright, it's urging you to get creative. Let yourself, your person, that was what it said, was talking about earlier, is your person's creativity. Two different decks and not this one. It says, this is a time when energies of closeness with others and nurturing yourself can flow more freely. You can now open yourself to the emotional intimacy that may be coming your way. So nurture yourself and be ready to receive the affections and camaraderie of resonant souls around you. They're learning about unexplored areas of their self-expression and new projects that may have a more creative approach. They're also opening up to their creativity. Your person earlier, it was leaning towards them being an artist or a musician or something to that effect, right? They're or somebody who speaks publicly was the other thing that came to mind earlier. So we have the second chakra is perfectly open to its healthy state. They're creative and self-nurturing, more and more comfortable with the gentle waves of intimacy coming their way. That's what I got, guys. I mean, lots of deep healing work going on with your person and things that they are getting over. And it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, it falls right in line with the one that I did, the last reading I did. So check it out. And I hope that this is helpful. If I could talk, it'd be fantastic. It's getting late. Hopefully this resonates. I'm sorry, I paused for a second because I thought I turned it off. So I just hope that this is helpful for you guys and it resonates. And, leave me some comments, leave me a message and let me know.